Adventureland is the largest amusement park in Iowa. This park features 7 different roller coasters, including the highly rated Monster. This place has changed ownership twice in recent years, as it was just purchased by Herschend. How will this impact the park? I will discuss that and everything you need to know about this park in this review. Adventureland opened back in 1974. It is located in Altoona, Iowa, just a short drive from Des Moines. Local businessman Jack Krantz had recently visited Disneyland and wanted to bring a similar park to his home state. Hence, why this park's entrance is strikingly familiar. You enter underneath a train station and then walk down a main street lined with shops, restaurants, and an arcade. Then the park has some themed lands. Nothing on the scale of a Disney park, but a few of the areas have an overarching theme and a cohesive look to them. And some of the newer rides have a prop or two around them. My favorite of the areas is Outlaw Gulch. This is a western area with the wooden architecture you'd expect. The biggest cons with this park's appearance by far are the vacant plots where rides and attractions were removed. The park has lost a whopping 14 rides in the past decade, plus some show venues and restaurants. Some were filled with a rider's stand that looks temporary, and in some instances, the station buildings were left awkwardly standing. The park does have some memorials set up to past attractions that are nice photo opportunities at least. Then there's a history board towards the front of the park covering the park's full 50-year history. There are 2 areas in particular in this park that could use some work. Boulevard is a rather plain-looking midway on the left side of the park that has been particularly impacted by ride removals. Dragon Island is another area that needs work. After the park removed the Dragon Coaster, they left the station standing. Now, it just houses a kiddie ride, which uses only a fraction of the building, so it feels quite empty over there. Let's return to the positives about this park's appearance. The park has some areas with nice landscaping, particularly towards the back. There are quite a few spots in the park with charm to them as well, and most rides feature fresh paint schemes. Then Monster has one of the craziest lighting packages of any attraction. That is a spectacle in itself. Multicolored lights illuminate the structure and follow the train as it completes the course. While the park has removed a lot of rides, they have been particularly aggressive adding new coasters at least in the same time period, as they have added 4 new coasters over the past decade. The Krantz family owned the park until 2021. That was the year of the devastating accident in the park's Raging River Rapids ride. A raft overturned, tragically killing a young boy. The ride has sat idle in the woods ever since. The park was found at fault, which led to its sale later that year. Palace Entertainment, the U.S. subsidiary of Parques Reunidos, purchased the park. Flash forward to 2025. Parques Reunidos wanted to leave the U.S. theme park market. They put all their parks for sale, and they were acquired by Herschend, the owners of Dollywood and Silver Dollar City. I think this bodes well for the park's future. Herschend places a huge emphasis on aesthetics and theming. This is evident with their 2 flagship parks, but I think we can look at what they're doing with Kentucky Kingdom as inspiration. For 2025, the entire back area of that park was transformed into Discovery Meadow. The whole area was refreshed, and many rides were rebranded. I fully suspect Herschend to address the theming here. Unlike Kentucky Kingdom that essentially had no theming, and some really, really bad looking areas, Adventureland at least has something for them to work with. I imagine they'll take the existing themes and flesh them out more. For example, I could see them taking the castle theming over by Dragon Slayer and pulling that to the surrounding areas to make a proper medieval section. I imagine they'd give both Monster and Tornado proper and grander entrances. Then I would love to see the left side reworked. Draken Falls and Flying Viking came with some Viking theming, so maybe they can expand upon that. Improving the atmosphere from solid to great would be a major win for this park, because it already has a fairly strong ride lineup. As I noted at the start, this park has 7 different roller coasters. The best of the bunch is easily Monster. This is a Gerstlauer infinity coaster that finds creative ways to chuck you from your seat. It starts with a beyond vertical drop with intense ejector airtime. Then the ride is a series of funky turns and inversions. Each are on the taller side, so the train slows way down, resulting in oodles of traditional and lateral hang time. And definitely try to experience this coaster at night if you can to appreciate that lighting package firsthand. I have a full review going more in depth if you want to learn more. The most extreme coaster is arguably Dragon Slayer. This is an S&S free spin, but it rides nothing like the ones typically found at the Six Flags parks. This one flips far more. One side is listed as mild, and one is listed as wild, but both are fully capable of providing 8 to 10 flips. The wild side is just more consistent. There are a few points where it's possible to perform 4 to 5 flips in a row, which is extremely disorienting. You only want to ride this one if you have a strong stomach. Phoenix is a Mauer spinning coaster. This is the familiar SC2000 layout, meaning it starts with a zippy curve drop. This one does not spin as much as some other installations though, and is braked pretty severely, but it's a fine family coaster. The Final Steel coaster is another family coaster in Flying Viking. Built by Zamperla, it is intertwined with the log flume. This creates some exciting visuals. Then the layout is smooth with some minor positive G's in the turns and helixes. Then the park is 3 different wood coasters. Outlaw is my favorite of the trio. This is a twister layout from CCI that was designed by Mike Boodley, who later went on to found GCI. This is not a super large ride, but there are some turns with nice laterals and a few decent pops of airtime. The latter are maximized by the freeing buzz bar restraints. Tornado is an out-and-back wood coaster designed by William Cobb. These rides are usually chock full of airtime, but this one has some major pacing issues, as several hills feel 10 to 15 feet too tall. There is the occasional bit of negative G's, and the layout has a curve to it that produces some laterals at least. I just recommend avoiding a wheel seat because there are some pretty bumpy valleys. It is worth noting this ride has a famous ride operator who excitedly screams the ride's name whenever a train dispatches. Just take a listen. Underground is technically a wood coaster, but it more or less serves as the park's dark ride. It was a curious choice using this ride system because it's loud, and you move through the scenes quicker than most dark rides. Still, it is a cool experience as there's a pre-show and a ride filled with physical props, and was recently refreshed in 2024, so everything is in tip-top shape. There are 3 notable coaster gaps I would love to see filled in the future. First, this park could use an airtime-centric coaster, specifically one offering ejector airtime. The chain enjoys working with Rocky Mountain construction, so maybe this is a possibility. The nearby Lost Island theme park just added an RMC Raptor for the 2025 season, so I would love to see Adventureland add an iBox coaster instead. This could either be entirely ground up, or a conversion of Tornado. 2. This park could use a launch coaster. If they really wanted to, they could satisfy both the launch and airtime with one single ride. 3. This park could use a kiddie coaster. They shockingly have never had one. Moving on to the non-coasters, this park has 2 notable water rides. Draken Falls is a modern flume from Zamperla that is built around the aforementioned Flying Viking. It does not have much in terms of landscaping, but you do pass some signs. Then, there are 2 drops. Each offers a faint bit of airtime, and the resultant splash gets you very wet, which feels great in those hot summer days. Sawmill Splash is an interesting spinning raft ride from Whitewater West. Honestly, it feels more like a water slide, as you have a downhill course and a circular dinghy raft. You spin at a solid clip for much of the ride. Then, there's a fun double down at the very end. The splash itself will not get you very wet, but your shoes may get soaked as the raft fills with water. Complementing the water rides on the dry side is the Adventure Bay water park. This is located towards the back of the park, and it is included with admission. It is not too big, but it covers the key genres with tube slides, speed slides, and a mat racing slide, in addition to some pools and play areas. As for flat rides, this park has a respectable collection. There are 2 tall towers offering views for miles. Storm Chaser is a Mondial Windseeker. It is the park's tallest ride at 260 feet or 79 meters in size. It is not the least bit forceful, but it's always pleasant spinning that high in the air. Then Space Shot is an SNS drop tower that blasts you airborne. The launch is timed differently than other versions, which caught me off guard. The launch itself is okay in power, then you get some good floater air time at the top, in addition to a great view. This makes it one of the better Space Shot towers out there. The best overall flat ride is Sidewinder. This is a Moser Frisbee with a strong cycle. There are several max swings offering solid floater air time, and that is paired with downswings offering decent positive Gs. Then this park is a handful of spinning rides scattered about the park. One particularly noteworthy one is G-Force, a Huss breakdance oddly placed in the park's arcade. The cycle is short, and it's not as intense as other installations, but it's quite dizzying indoors with all the flashing lights in the arcade games. And it is worth noting this is basically the only ride in the park that can operate in thunderstorms. During my visit, even the covered bumper cars and the enclosed underground coaster closed with lightning in the area. Then this park has plenty of kiddie rides peppered throughout the park, instead of solely being concentrated in one area. This means families can progress through the park together, finding attractions suitable for all ages. If you want a scenic attraction, the park has a standard Ferris wheel and also a train. The park used to have an incredible sky ride that went directly through Monster, but that was unfortunately removed a few years ago by Palace Entertainment. They removed this type of ride from multiple parks in their chain. In terms of shows, this park used to have a popular circus, but that too has been closed. The most notable show they still offer is a magic show. Then, you may find the occasional live music act performing at the park. This is an aspect where I could really see Herschend investing given how shows are an area of expertise for them. Herschend also excels in the food department, and I fully expect them to revitalize this park's offerings. This likely will include cinnamon bread at a minimum, plus some other fan favorites. I've found some decent food items at the park in the past, but nothing that has wowed me. In my most recent visit, I actually chose to leave briefly to eat outside the park. There is a strip mall within walking distance with a few great food options. On that note, there are multiple hotels also within walking distance. This includes the park's on-site hotel and some familiar chain hotels across the street. This is worth considering if you need to stay overnight, because Adventureland charges $21 per day to park your car. The lot is a short walk from the main entrance at least. As of this recording, it costs $45 to buy your ticket online. I think that's a fair price considering all the park has to offer. Meanwhile, it costs $70 at the gate, so definitely buy in advance if you can. However, I could see these rates changing in the future, possibly going a bit higher, particularly in the season pass prices. The 2025 prices were set before Herschend acquired the park. If possible, I would recommend visiting on a weekday over a weekend. You will encounter far shorter waits. Monster typically gets the longest line in the park. It can routinely hit the hour mark on weekends. Some other lines that often hit the 30-minute mark are the Underground, Draken Falls, Phoenix, and Dragon Slayer. I find that the ride crews tend to load everything at a respectable rate. The issue is that the steel coasters seat very few people per train. Then the wood coasters use just one train. I think Herschend can potentially fix the latter if they want to, but they are sort of stuck on the steel coasters. If you're pressed for time, I think you can get all the coaster credits in half a day, but this is a park where I recommend spending the better part of a day if possible. That way, you have plenty of time for re-rides and don't have to rush. So how should you tour this park? If you arrive at opening, I recommend heading immediately to Monster. Get a lap or two in early before it builds up a wait. If you want more laps, it is best to return during the last hour. I would then hit Dragon Slayer because you're nearby already. I would then check if the Underground and or Phoenix still have short waits. For my most recent visit, Flying Viking and Draken Falls got their longest wait right after opening because they're towards the front of the park. Their queues dropped noticeably in the afternoon. 3 additional touring notes. 1. Monster occasionally has an unofficial single rider line. Everyone enters the main queue, but the operators will sometimes call for single riders. It's possible to bypass a majority of the queue if no one ahead of you will split up and ride alone. We took full advantage of this in our most recent trip. 2. Be careful visiting this park on a windy day. Because Monster travels through its elements so slowly, it is prone to closures on particularly blustery days. 3. The park offers Speedy Pass, a paid skip-the-line pass. There are single shots available, but these are comically overpriced in my opinion. I have seen Monster and Underground cost as much as $25 to $30 per person per ride. Alternatively, you can purchase the all-day skip options. The lowest tier Speedy Pass costs $20 to $40. This lets you virtually wait however long the wait is. When you return, you board almost immediately. The premium Speedy Pass costs $40 to $60, and you wait virtually half whatever the wait is. The Elite Speedy Pass costs $70 to $100, but it grants near immediate access. It is also the only tier that includes Monster and Underground. This is worth considering if you're really short on time, or if you're coming from a distance and want to maximize your rides on Monster in particular. The final thing I want to mention is that this park offers the Phantom Fall Fest to Halloween as of this time. Palace debuted this event a few years back, and while I have not experienced it at Adventureland, I have gone to the one at their sister park in Lake Compound several times. The haunts there are decent quality, better than the ones I've done at Six Flags parks. They could ditch the haunts in the future though. Herschend prefers family-friendly Halloween events with illuminated pumpkins over haunted houses. This happened at Kentucky Kingdom just recently, so I suspect it could happen with Adventureland as well. Do I recommend Adventureland? Yes, I do. This is a fun park. Monster is a fantastic coaster that alone makes this place worth a visit. Then this is paired with a nice mix of supporting coasters and non-coasters. And the park is a pleasant atmosphere, and I suspect that can only improve with Herschend at the helm. This comes at the heels of Lost Island theme park opening nearby. While Adventureland is larger and has a deeper ride lineup, Lost Island has superior theming. Overall, I like both parks fairly evenly, and I think the two parks complement each other nicely. It'll be interesting to see how much they play off of each other going forwards. Those are my thoughts on Adventureland, Iowa's largest amusement park. What are your thoughts on this place and its future with Herschend under control? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, since there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.